Hello, everybody in the chess world. Today we're going to see 3 exercises of calculation and tactics. All 3 of them will be from games that I played some time ago. So let us start with this first one, which is probably the easiest. So, okay, here I was white and my opponent, well, as usual, no names as my opponent might not want to mention. But okay, I'm obviously 100% winning here. My opponent played c4, maybe some last hope. And I'll pass you, well, the turn to try to decide which will be like the strongest move. Although we're obviously super winning, but okay, just pause the video and think. Okay, so, well, you probably already saw that the problems with the king and all the back rank, right? I mean, along with this pawns, just, yeah, cutting any retreat here. Of course, you were probably all seeing that. So not too hard, but still you had to see that the best move is rook d2. And here, well, it will be probably pointless just to retreat with the bishop. So my opponent took the pawn, and you had to see that we can just take the bishop here. And after pawn takes, which is what my opponent did, you know, he's trying to make a queen. And, well, if we had to just go back, well, you know, they will make a queen anyway and recover one of the rooks and total disaster. But of course there is, well, the simple rook d8 check, which is what I played. And after king h7, rook e8. In this position, obviously my opponent resigned because, well, he can make a queen, but it'll be just rook h8 mate. So, okay, this not too hard. So let's pass into the second example. This will be much more specific and kind of like within an opening, which is something that I like. So, well, you can see here that this is a typical King's Indian, you know, defense by black, and I played a Samish variation with white with the bishop on g5. So, well, black has to sacrifice a pawn on g4, and, well, I'm going to go right ahead and spoil the fact that this is a good sacrifice. I mean, this position should be unclear, you know, there is no real advantage for me, which we might think that I should because I am opponent. But specific question, what do you think about the move knight takes e4 for black? Because this is a typical tactical shot in this kind of positions, and it often works. It might work in here as well, but okay, I'll leave that question to you, so just pause a bit and think. Okay, so the answer is no, in this position it doesn't work. My opponent played knight takes e4. And, well, let us first see what could be positive about this. So, if I were to take on e4, well, I mean, black can just play queen takes g5, be better, and even have this, well, rook e8, not rook d8, rook e8 idea in mind. I mean, this will be, like, beautiful for black. And going back, well, the other line will be if I take the queen, well, of course, black will take mine, and, well, knight takes e4 or f takes e4, but, well, let us say knight takes e4, rook takes e8, and again, you know, this is better for black. Same material for both. They have the pair of bishops. It's much better for black. But the refutation that you had to see in this particular case is what I played, which is queen takes g7 check. So yeah, taking the good bishop with the tempo. So after king takes and bishop takes e8, well, now the knight on e4 is also attacked. So the only move is what my opponent played, which is knight takes e3. But there is this bishop c7 that I played. And now, yeah, white has a large advantage. You know, rook e8 check, king f2, and knight a4 came. But after b3, I mean, yeah, this is great position for white. So, well, this is a reason why knight takes e4 is not good. However, I said before that in this position, the pawn sacrifice that black made is actually justified, and it's actually quite interesting. So I'll give you the opportunity to try to find the strongest move for black here, the one that will definitely prove compensation here, okay? So pause the video and think. Okay, so the move is not knight takes e4, that was a mistake. h6 maybe the subtle move. And this will already prove a good position for black, because the most natural move will be, I don't know, bishop e3 looks to be like the natural move. But in here, well, there are discovered, you know, moves with the knight. So let us say knight g4. This will be typical. You know, we just want to hit the queen, and at the same time, look at this bishop. And we could do the same with a little bit of a more elegant move in here, which will be knight d5. Same idea, like hitting here and hitting here. And after, let us say, queen d2 and exchanging, well, we can see already compensation for a pawn. I mean, again, black has a pair of bishops, there's an open position and stuff. Furthermore, after h6, if white were to see everything that I just showed, maybe, well, then white will choose to just, instead of retreating, take on f6. But again, this will prove at least compensation for black. And I must say that in these lines that, well, bishop takes f6 will come, I think in these lines that are coming are rather black. Because, let us say, queen d2, just bishop on e6 is very good move. And now we will kind of be pinpointing the fact that there is lacking development for white. In fact, like what to do with the king with white here, right? It's not so easy. Because we could play long castles immediately. I mean, it's true, but, well, rook b8, I mean, you know what? We're going to have, like, the team of these four pieces trying to hit on our king. Which, well, there are some defenders here, but you know what's coming, like queen b6 or queen a5. This is not a pleasant position. And if having that in mind, instead of playing long castles here, white were to play bishop on e2, well, again, there are a lot of moves. Let us say rook b8 is a good move, but, well, even what about queen b6? Just even preventing, short castles. So, I mean, really, king f2 is also not possible. Well, taking on d6 looks ridiculous. They will take on b2. I mean, really, I think I'm really starting to prefer black here. So, but okay, let us move on to the third and last example, which will, well, definitely also be the hottest. For this last example, okay, here was a tournament of, well, kind of rapid games. It was, I think, 40 minutes or 1 hour for each player, not the whole hour and a half, maybe less increment. But I had this position with white and my opponent, which, well, as usual, no names, as my opponent might not want to be mentioned. And my opponent played rook fc8, which, well, it could seem like a normal, natural move. Black is trying to gain or at least fight for the c file. But this does hang a little bit, a little something. So, well, if you want, you can just pause a bit and think. So, okay, here I played bishop takes h7 check, and you will see that, yeah, this move is correct. I mean, black cannot take here because, well, I will just play queen c2, which is, on the one hand, is check, on the other hand is, well, adding one more force into, this c file, so I will take on c8 next, winning an exchange. But the thing also is that my opponent played the most natural move. He played king on h8, but king on h8 is losing, curiously. And furthermore, the correct and only move, king on f8, well, it was a pretty good move. I mean, I'm not sure I have an advantage here, even when I just won a pawn, because, well, you can see that I have these two pieces that are being asked some questions, right? I probably have to take on c8, and, relinquish the c file for my opponent. And maybe I will have to, in the future, lose a tempo with my bishop, right? Just going back somewhere along this diagonal, because black will always have this sort of threat of playing g6 followed by king g7, just trapping my bishop. So again, even upon up, I don't think this is so much better for white. But after king on h8, now I'm going to ask you to try and find the move, but really try to take some minutes on this one, because it is a somewhat long line, and yeah, maybe the tactical themes and subjects that there are around this won't be so easy to see, but you still have to calculate a lot and be precise. So pause the video and think. Okay, so the tactical sequence starts by rook takes e7, just sacrificing the exchange. Why? Well, because we'll be forcing black to some, there'll be some really forced answers. I mean, of course, queen takes e7, he had to play that, and what was the idea? Well, obviously, knight on e5, we're hitting the queen, but at the same time, you can see that we've just opened up this diagonal. I mean, my idea, of course, is to continue with queen on h5 and having a great attack. So my opponent played the best move, queen b7, and now, obviously, queen on h5. And, well, not only I have this possible discover check with the bishop, like kind of anywhere I want. But I'm also simply threatening knight takes f7 check, which will be kind of made. I mean, it will force the queen to take it. And of course, we could not, I mean, my opponent could not protect that with rook on f8. That will fall into this, yeah, easy mate. I mean, the f8 square has to be free for his king just to walk like this, which is what will happen in the game. That's why my opponent played correct rook c7. I had to protect laterally that pawn. And I played bishop g6. This is what I had calculated. King g8, queen h7 check, king f8, queen on h8 check, king on e7, queen takes on g7. And now we'll see like pretty much like the fun part, the most human part, because here my opponent played what for me was the main line, what I was expecting him to play. It was bishop takes on g2. And, well, here actually I made a mistake, but I'll come back to show you the correct move later, because it'll be in relationship with with what actually we played in the game. So I play rook e1 here. And now, well, again, my opponent played the move that I was expecting. It's like we were both kind of looking at the same line, but he missed one little detail. That's the thing. He played bishop on h3. So before going here and what happened on the game, I must say that bishop on d5 was the only move, like definitely the best defense. And computer shows that, well, now I can take on f7 with any of the three pieces, and the evaluation is more or less the same, kind of like winning, just barely winning, like +2, maybe something like that. So because the computer sees that at least black's king will be able to escape. So if, yeah, queen takes f7 check, king d6, at least, just escaping. I mean, there is queen f4 now, but I guess he could just go back. I could take it with the bishop, and again, king d6. And, well, taking it with the knight, which has the idea of, well, also covering up this square. But the computer is also like saying, well, king d7 anyway, not escaping this discover check, but, giving just this escaping route for black's king. At least it doesn't lose immediately, like catastrophically, although it is a winning position. But the other detail that you'll see, and this will help you find the move in the last time that I will ask you to pause the video, is that from d5, this bishop, is protecting this queen. But he played bishop on h3, and now that queen is protected, but only by the rook, not by anyone else. And that was the detail. So for the last time, I'll ask you, I mean, can you find the boom shakalaka here? Just pause the video and think. So yeah, I played queen takes f7 check and king on d6. And, well, you can see, I mean, this is probably what my opponent calculated. I mean, he's threatening my queen and checkmate at the same time. Right? I obviously had calculated something particular. Otherwise here, I look lost. I mean, if I had to do like to defend against both threats, something sad as queen f3, I mean, just taking it and rook g8, and if I protect the bishop on f5, well, now it's black who's winning, right? So, okay, one more time, try and find the boom shakalaka here. So, pause the video and think. Yeah, knight c4 check. I mean, this is the move that I had seen, and that's why I told you that on the bishop d5 defensive line, that was the key. The bishop was still protecting the queen, but now, from h3, it is not. So that's a problem. Now there is no rook takes e4 because they will lose the queen. So, but a funny thing is, again, really here, my opponent was really threatening my queen and the checkmate. So in this position. So the funny thing is that knight c4 is not only the only winning move. It's actually the only move that doesn't lose. So, yeah, okay, it was like that particular move. So I'll show you the end of the game. My opponent played king d5. I played queen f3 check, king takes, queen b3 check, king takes d4, queen e3 check, king d5, rook d1 check, king c4, queen c3 check, king b5, and finally bishop d3 check. And now, well, in this position, my opponent did resign because, well, he saw that king a4 will just receive queen on a3 checkmate. So, well, going back, I said that in this position, rook e1 it was a mistake. It was because after rook e1 there is this bishop on d5, and while I'm probably still winning, it's not such a big advantage. The recommendation by the computer was to cash in, and just to play queen takes f7 check, and after king d6, queen on f4. So since we're threatening this this cover check with the knight, computer is just giving king on e7, and now, yeah, queen g5, take the bishop, cash in your material advantage, and that's it. But, okay, as you saw, well, if we were to begin the line from here, it was quite a long line, but you only need to calculate 10 moves each, right, up to this point. Then the rest, I mean, okay, I had calculated mate in here, but in fact, I don't think I played the quickest mate. I played the easiest mate to calculate from this position, right? I mean, when I reach this position, I really think that there is a quicker mate than queen on f3, but I calculated that queen on f3, that there's nothing to do. You can, yeah, see that there is no escape for the opponent's king, so it was fine. So, well, I hope you like this video. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you like the video, and I will see you next time. Thanks a lot.